Alright guys, we got some updates to go through, both in regard to the short term, that being injury updates to their game tonight, which does happen to be against the Knicks, definitely looking forward to it. We got updates about Austin Reaves, Jordan Goodwin, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic. And then more for the long term, we got a big update about the future with Luka Doncic and the Los Angeles Lakers, how he's felt about their team so far, the first impression with their team, will he sign a new contract with their team, and simply the mutual feeling between them. So we'll talk about that and the injury updates during today's video. But before we get too far into it, let's quickly go over our game day picks with Underdog Fantasy. And if you're a new sign up, you can pick Luka Doncic to have higher than 0.5 points later tonight. So yeah, take advantage of that free pick. But then for my picks, if you're not a new sign up, I got Luka Doncic having higher than 7.5 assists. Coming off a 15 assist game and making Laker history while doing it, becoming the fourth Laker to ever have a 30-point, 15 assist game, I think he can't get at least more than 8 tonight. Then for my second pick, I got Jared Vanderbilt having higher than 4.5 rebounds. Coming off a 9 rebound game and being the ultimate spark plug for their team, I think he will get at least 5. Then for my third and final pick, I got Karl Anthony Towns having a double-double. So if you want to follow along with me, or make your own picks, then be sure to check out Underdog Fantasy, and don't forget to use code JSM to get your free pick, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make a deposit. But now getting back to our topic, and beginning with the injury report and the status updates, for the big boost of their team, they are getting back Austin Reaves tonight, missing their past 2 games and pretty much past 2.5 years. He likely will be back, and that will give their team a major boost. Now, he did miss their past 2.5 with a calf strain, and that's never a good thing. Anytime you hear the word calf strain, that does get a little bit worrisome. That can tend to be a precursor to a major injury, that being your Achilles. But according to them, it's simply been precautionary. That's the word that JJ Redick has used multiple times about him, and I'm gonna choose to believe them, giving him a couple days off to heal from it and rest from it, now laying him back on the court tonight and against a really tough opponent too. Then for Jordan Goodwin, currently listed as questionable, he had a right ankle sprain a couple of games ago and much like Austin Reaves, has not played for them in a couple, but he might be back tonight. That one's a bit more up in the air with the questionable tag, but they definitely could use him. Part of their bench mob and that great energy off the bench with Jared Vanderbilt, they could use him against a guy like Jalen Brunson, Miles McBride off the bench, and this could be a good game for Jordan Goodwin to come back. But if he's not healthy, don't rush it, give him one more game off, and I guess we'll see about the final report. And then finally for Rui Hachimura, no, unfortunately he won't be back tonight, but according to Jovan Buha The Athletic, he will be reassessed on Friday of this week, which will give us a better picture about when he might be back or what the timeline on him will be. Now be prepared to not hear about that till next week and maybe even a little bit after that. And with us hearing everything from 1 to 2 weeks with him, up to maybe a couple months, you never know about knee tendinopathy. That's something that can come and go and might go away within a couple of weeks, or could be up to a few months, so we gotta wait for that report and that reassessment on him. They're probably getting more details, more scans about him, and we'll have a better picture next week, and hopefully we do hear about it sooner rather than later. But then finally for LeBron and Luka, both listed as probable and very likely to play tonight. Who knows, maybe one could end up resting, but probably not against an opponent like the Knicks. A good playoff test for them and a game they definitely do want to play in. After that though, that pretty much does it. No further update about Maxi Kleber. Last week we heard something about that he might be coming back before the postseason, that being from Jovan Buha The Athletic as well, but up until this point, no further report on him. Markieff Morris is out tonight with an illness if you care about that. Probably wasn't going to play anyways, but is on the injury report. But between Jordan Goodwin and Austin Reaves, if they're back tonight, that would give their team a major boost. So hopefully they can and will be out there tonight. But then for the long-term update here, that being about Luka Doncic and with the Lakers long-term, it does happen to be a good update. According to Shams Charania of ESPN, Luka Doncic is quote-unquote loving his time with the Lakers. And not only that, but also is expected to quote-unquote carry over his loyalty to the Lakers. That being about his intention to be with the Mavericks for his entire career, if he could. Obviously they traded him and had different intentions than him, but playing with Dirk Nowitzki, a guy that played with the Mavericks for his entire career, with one team for his entire career, also looking up to a guy like Kobe Bryant, likely had that mentality and, despite being traded now, has no intention of leaving their team and wants to remain with their team long term. And here's the full report from Shams Charania.
in talking to people around Luka Doncic over the last 72 hours, I was at that Lakers-Clippers game on Sunday. He had no intention ever of leaving Dallas. He had just bought a new home in Dallas, for a lofty price. He did not want to go anywhere. You think of a player coming from abroad, they're very committed, they're loyal, and that's how he viewed himself with the Mavericks. It's like one team, one city forever. And I think that's going to carry over to the Lakers. I think he's loving his time in LA. I think he's loving how the Lakers, you think about what the Lakers brand is, it's like treating stars like stars. It's Hollywood. It's making the star players bigger than life. And that's what we're going to see with Luka Doncic.
As a Laker fan, you gotta love to hear that. I mean, things can obviously change pretty quickly, but they made a good first impression on him, made him feel welcomed, made him feel appreciated, even listening to what he wants with their team and trying to do that prior to the trade deadline, going out and trying to trade for Mark Williams, a center that would fit the archetype of what Luka likes to play with, that athletic big, that lob threat, and one that would fit his timeline. And despite that not working, it made him feel good. A report even said that he appreciated that, and liked the fact that they listened to him immediately upon trading for him. And that's a big difference, a big contrast to his prior team. I mean, it kind of felt like the Mavericks went out of their way to disagree with him, sending coaching staff and training staff away that were close with Luka, sending away teammates they liked, and all around not really caving to his wishes or doing what he wants for their team and for the future of their team. That's ultimately not good and led to them trading him, the ultimate sign of distrust and the ultimate sign of dissatisfaction between them. Obviously that's not good and that can change pretty quickly. Hopefully not with their team, but up until this point has been a very good first impression. The Lakers have been known to treat star players very well and have done nothing but that with LeBron James, for example, who is kind of the mentor to Luka Doncic now, will tell him about their team and what it's been like with their team, both from a relationship standpoint, a team building standpoint, and for a guy that's been with their team for over half a decade now at this point. Kind of hard to believe, but it does happen to be true. So he'll kind of give him the rundown, what it's been like, how he's been treated, and a future with their team, what it's like to be with their team for more than half a decade at this point. Again, really weird to think about. What it's like to be the face of their team, the face of their franchise, the relationship between them, how they listen to him, how they have listened to him, what it's like to grow old with their team, and everything in between all that. LeBron's the perfect guy to tell him about it, and I imagine that it's a majority of positive with him. I mean, the iterations they built around LeBron, the teams they built with him, and all around the relationship between them, it's been pretty good for the most part, and I imagine that Luka will get a pretty good picture of it from him. And with that in mind, will that lead to Luka signing a new contract with them? After all, he is eligible for a new contract extension later this offseason, being eligible for a 4-year, $229 million extension with their team, and obviously they'll offer him that immediately. If he'll sign it, that's up to interpretation. This report kind of indicates that he will sign it, that's the most they can offer him, but then again, he could opt out of his contract and wait a little bit longer, becoming a free agent following the 2025-26 NBA season. He would make more money by doing that and kind of leave it up to a little bit of risk between the team now and then, but he could do that alternatively. The Lakers probably wouldn't like that, but they'll give him any and every option that's available to him. I mean, gotta factor in that Luka lost a lot of money by being traded with the Mavericks, and if he would have remained with their team, he would have been eligible for a 5-year, $345 million contract extension, and now with that being down to a 4-year, $229 million one, that's about a $100 million difference, and that's obviously a lot of money. No matter what, a lot of money, but still, he might choose to wait and try to recuperate a little bit of that money lost and wait a little bit longer, sign with their team. Who knows if he'll do that or sign the extension. The Lakers will be open to it either way and try to make him feel comfortable and confident with their team long term, but those are the options in front of him and with their team. And with that being said, I think that pretty much would cover it. Obviously can't say for sure not if he will sign with their team or re-sign with their team, but up until this point, the Lakers have done a pretty good job about it, making him feel welcome, making him feel good about their team long term, and doing everything in their power to make him feel good about resigning with their team. So I think it's a pretty good likelihood that he will. But what do you guys think? How do you feel about Luka's long-term situation with the Lakers? Will he resign with their team, or how will he go about doing that? And then how do you feel about the injury updates? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that will pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I would greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.